Life is a theater of fleeting moments, a delicate balance of joy and sorrow, ever-changing and impermanent. Imagine yourself in this constant ebb and flow, striving for an elusive state of bliss. Today, let me take you on a journey, a story that unveils the secret to eternal contentment, a tale of wisdom, detachment, and self-realization. Welcome to Buddha Speaks Wisdom. Once upon a time, in a land filled with opulence and splendor, there lived a king whose name was celebrated far and wide. His birthday was a grand spectacle, a day when he showered his people with riches and held feasts that drew crowds from every corner of the kingdom. This particular year, the king decided to outshine all previous celebrations. Amid the festivities, he stood tall on his golden throne, adorned with silk robes and priceless jewels, basking in the adoration of his subjects. "Look at all that I possess," the king declared, his voice resonating across the grand hall. "My wealth, my lands, my power, none can rival me. Truly, I am the greatest." The people cheered, their applause echoing like thunder. Yet, in one quiet corner of the hall stood a monk, draped in simple robes, his face serene and composed. Unmoved by the spectacle, he stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Your Majesty," the monk said, "you are poorer than me." The hall fell silent. The audacity of the monk's words stunned the crowd. The king's face darkened with anger. "How dare you?" the king thundered. "I own everything you see. How can you, a mere monk with nothing to your name, claim to be wealthier than me?" The monk's eyes gleamed with wisdom as he replied, "True wealth, your Majesty, lies not in possessions but within. It is the wealth of a pure mind, of peace and contentment, that surpasses all riches." Enraged, the king ordered the monk to be imprisoned. "Let him reflect on his arrogance in solitude," he commanded. Days passed, and the monk's imprisonment did not diminish his tranquility. In fact, he seemed more at peace than ever. One day, the king summoned the monk to his court. The atmosphere was tense as the monk stood before the throne, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the king's simmering anger. "Do you still claim to be wealthier than me?" the king demanded. "Yes, your Majesty," the monk replied. "For your wealth binds you, while my simplicity frees me. True wealth is invisible, it is the richness of spirit, the clarity of a pure mind." The king scoffed. "You speak in riddles. I will prove you wrong." Determined to shatter the monk's philosophy, the king devised a test. He ordered his servants to fill the monk's humble hut with bags of gold and jewels. The next morning, the king arrived at the hut, expecting to see the monk reveling in the newfound treasure. Instead, he found the monk sitting peacefully outside. The hut was empty except for one bag of jewels, which the monk had placed under his head as a pillow the previous night. "Your Majesty," the monk said, "your riches cluttered my home, so I removed them. I kept one bag as a pillow to ensure a good night's rest." True contentment is not in accumulation but in simplicity. The king was speechless. For the first time, he questioned his own understanding of happiness. Was it possible that this simple monk, unburdened by wealth, was richer in spirit than he, the ruler of vast lands? Over the following days, the king sought the monk's guidance. He learned that the pursuit of material possessions often leads to endless desires, while inner peace and a pure mind bring true fulfillment. Gradually, the king began to shift his perspective. He prioritized wisdom over wealth, generosity over greed, and humility over pride. This tale teaches us a profound truth: the greatest riches are those within. Detachment from material possessions and a pure, content mind lead to eternal victory in the game of life. So, let us embrace simplicity, cultivate gratitude, and find joy in the intangible treasures of the heart. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Buddha Speaks Wisdom. Let's walk this path of enlightenment together. See you in the next story.